Hi you guys, it's Stephanie with Coffee Paper Scissors. Okay, I'm back with the file folder journal that I started, and I've cut out a bunch of papers to fit all of the different folds, I think. We'll know if I got them all once I start gluing down, whether or not I run out. So what I'm doing first, I think, is what you're looking at is this. Okay, so it's like this. So if you open it here and here, this is what we're looking at. I think that what I'm going to start with first is gluing this piece down. So I'm going to scoot this out of the way just a little bit. I have things paper clipped where I want them to go, or I might get things confused. I'm not even sure what is going to be. I think this is going to be the front because I have to choose, because this paper, it's directional. The writing on it is this way, I think. So the slant is like this. So I think the writing goes like this. I've inked around the pages. I have taken and scored my spines. So I'm just going to go ahead and start gluing down. And we're going to see together how it comes out. So I ran into town a little while ago. I was going to go to 2 stores, but I got so hungry that I had to just come home. So all I ended up doing was going to a thrift store. And the reason why I wanted to go is because I don't have a lot of things for a Shabby Chic journal. So I had gone to see if I found anything, fabulous. And I did find a couple more, things like tablecloths, that sort of thing. But there weren't really any crafting supplies to speak of, that's for sure. I think maybe it's the wrong time of year. People aren't necessarily going through their things right now and getting rid of stuff. I think it's more shop mode right now. People are focused on something else. Which I don't blame them. I guess I am focused on the same thing. But, so I found a few things, but I might show you at the end of the video if it's not too long. Okay, I'm just going to run my bone folder over it. It's hitting a paper clip up here, but, that's all right. Paper clip for paper that's on the other side. Okay, and then we're going to glue down this one. This is going to go underneath a pocket, so it needs to be glued down. And then this, I'll glue down, and it's going to be like the back cover. Let's just do this first. It probably doesn't need to be, this page probably doesn't need to go all the way to the corner, but I figured, why not? I might as well. It's not much paper. I can print more, so it's okay. My hands get tired of squeezing. Okay. Again, this one's directional, so we have to make sure we get it on the right way. that spine is right inside here. Okay, and I'm just gonna go ahead and get the paper underneath if I can get a hold of it and paper clip it back on. It's the other side. I just don't want to misplace it. And then I think we'll go ahead and do this one while these other two are drying a little bit. So on this one, I just took the page that I, cut it out of. I laid it underneath and traced it. So it's pretty much a perfect fit. So that's how I did that. I watch my videos back before I upload them. I don't watch the entire thing. Generally, I just watch to make sure the whole thing works properly, and I kind of fast forward, but I notice that sometimes I don't get out complete coherent thoughts. I'm like talking about something, and then something will happen, doing the project, and then I'll completely forget to finish a thought. The other day I was talking about working on my son's bedroom, and that was it. I was like, hey, so I cleaned his carpet. And that was end of the story. So I thought, I need to do better. Like either talk or don't talk, Like sometimes maybe it's not the day for a story. I don't know. Apparently it was not the day for a story that day. So I'll talk about it now. You're like, oh, good. I was wondering, right? You're like, I didn't know what I'd do if I didn't finish this or hear the rest of that story. So you guys know that he moved out and it's going, well for him and all that. So that's good. But I am starting to miss the kid. So I was down there cleaning up, and I'd get a little weepy every now and then. So I cleared everything out of his room, and I shampooed his carpet. Needed it really bad. Okay, so let's see. I need to know where my fold is. So, okay, I'm going to move this out of the way for a second. And I'm going to put this back on here, so I know that goes there. See my mess? Sorry if I just hit the camera probably. Okay, this goes like this. I think I'll just clip this to this one. And this probably goes here, but I feel like I'm now misplacing things. But anyway, okay. So that's the one though I need to know. So this is the fold that I want. I need to go ahead and wait, is it? No, it's this fold is the one that I want, because I need to know where to place my paper on the other side. So it's right in there. I just wanted to make sure, because I have all those little folds in there. I wanted to make sure I wasn't folding it on the wrong fold. I just don't necessarily want my spine to be a squared off spine. I just, it's kind of probably good to know where your paper is gonna fold. Okay. I'm just wanting to make sure it's really sticking in there. one of the reasons why I wanted to make sure that glue was good and dry. Okay, so there, now it's kind of folded over, so that's good. And sticking, I think. So this, okay, we have to do this side too. Make sure that the folds are all right on this. Take this. Yeah, I mean, it's a puzzle, you guys. It's definitely a puzzle. So this isn't gonna be one of those, oh, you're so organized videos, I don't think. It's definitely kind of a work in progress type of a thing, you know? It's like you figure out how to do it as you go, but even after I figure out how to do it, you know, some of the steps are just not going to be smooth no matter what you do. So I'm just going to try and make sure that the rounded spine is just kind of rounded for me. So I'm just going to run my bone folder along it to make sure it's not buckling the paper. So, so I got the carpets cleaned and all that. You know, that wasn't the kind of thing that was making me weepy, but when I was putting furniture back in, because there's still a lot of his furniture here, his apartment bedroom isn't very big, so he couldn't take everything with him. So as I was setting it back up, so that he can, you know, come and stay and that sort of thing on holidays and stuff. And I was organizing some of the things on his shelves and dusting and stuff like that. So then I was seeing things that he had made or purchased, or, you know, just things that I remembered. And I was like, oh my goodness, I cannot believe my child has moved out. I don't know how that happened, you know? It really just makes you stop and think. So I did find myself, actually, before I cleaned his room, I found myself going in there occasionally and just looking around. Okay. Those things are ready. Now I know where I can glue this down. See how I have lines now? That's why I was doing that. Okay. I'm just going to get this out of the way. But his room's all ready for him to come and stay on Christmas Eve. He has to work on Christmas Eve. He said he was just going to come over right after work. I have to figure out something for dinner. We don't have any, like, you know, traditional Christmas Eve food. Do you guys? I don't know. Well, again, you know, I've complained about this before. You're like, oh great, here she goes again. But I've got a household full of picky eaters. And so there isn't like any one large meal that everybody says, yay! Unless it's maybe steak, you know, everybody likes a steak, but I don't know. So I don't know what I might make. Maybe we'll have steak. We tend to always have cinnamon rolls on Christmas morning. That's nice. Well, sometimes, I don't know, or donuts or something like that, but all right. I'm not gluing anything down yet. Let's go ahead and flip this over. We can do this one. That'll be easy enough. So I think my son misses us too. You're like, yeah, right, Mom. I mean, like after church on Sunday, we went and had lunch, and he just kind of, we was finished eating and he just kept talking, he didn't get up and go. And I was like, well, Colton, do you want to sit here and talk for a little bit? Or he's like, yeah, I'm fine. So he actually misses me. His dad said the same thing. He took him to lunch last Sunday. I didn't get to go to lunch with them, but he said that he kind of lingered after eating, and so it's kind of a weird time in life. I mean, I'm sure you guys all remember when you first moved out, the kind of like a feeling of you almost kind of don't belong anywhere permanently for a while. That's the way I felt, because, I went to college and I was living in a dorm room, so obviously that's not home. But then when I would go home, most of my stuff wasn't there. And so it felt like I was visiting home. I just got the camera again, I think. Sorry about that. So just kind of weird things. I don't know if I went the wrong way with maybe this way. I don't know. It's all going to work out in the end either way. As long as things are right side up. Okay, the handwriting is going this direction. We're going to go ahead and glue this one down next. I remember going home I went home after 2 weeks. I went to school only an hour away from home. And so after 2 weeks, I thought, well, I guess I'll go home, And I remember sitting there going, now what? I didn't know what to do with myself. Working off camera, I'm sure. I hope I haven't been doing that the whole time. It's so frustrating. I put these little things, to try and guide myself, and I still do it. I grew up in a really, really small town, and I went home with people to their homes, and wow, it was such a learning experience for me. It really was. Having grown up in such a small town and not gone and visited and seen other things and people was just not my family's way of life, and that's fine. I think that you can live your life just fine that way. It's totally, I didn't mind it. I didn't notice it. I didn't think anything about it, but then I appreciated learning new things once I did start to learn new things about people and places, and traffic, I grew up where there was no traffic, and I'm like, oh my gosh, people choose to live like this. Oh my goodness. I still much prefer to live someplace without any traffic. Spokane has some, but it's not bad, and definitely where I live, there's none. None at all. Working off camera again. I'm just trying to make sure that the stuff is stuck there, because I don't want it to bow when the spine is, bent. Okay, Okay, we'll leave it like that for a second, and then we'll do this side. Okay. Somewhere, must be this one. All right. Unfortunately, I haven't done a lot of traveling outside of the country. I think I've only been, well, I've been to Canada, and I've been to Argentina and Mexico, and I think that's it. I've never been to Europe, and I would really like to. My son, oh my goodness, he, you know, I grew up being kind of a homebody and I didn't think anything about it. My son is such a homebody. So when he graduated from high school, we were like, do you want to, like, a graduation trip or something like that? And while he was in high school, he was taking Spanish, and there was a trip to Spain that he could have gone on. And we're like, well, do you want to go to Spain? And he just didn't want to. I think, you know, he was afraid. And I mean, I get that. I was a scaredy cat kind of a person when I was younger. I still kind of am, actually. But, yeah, I don't know. I would really like to go now, but he just didn't want to. And then, unfortunately, you know, his senior year is when COVID started, so he wouldn't have been able to go anyway. Still, probably. I don't even know if that sort of travel has started back up again or not. I have no idea. My daughter, however, wants to go everywhere. And I would love that. I don't know if she wants me to come with her, though, so that's no fun. I think she just wants to go by herself with a friend or something. Okay, I really want to know where my bend is going to be. So this one's going to be coming this direction. So I think what I'll do is just hit it with my Distress ink a little bit so I see where to glue it. That helps. This one, I think I can see. I hear a man's voice. Did I cut this too big? I did. I need to cut this down just a little bit. I'm pretty sure that these are like 5 3/4. Well, that's what I cut it at. Okay, I don't want it to be wrong. My husband's home, so it's okay if I hear a man's voice. I'm not in any danger. I just wasn't expecting it. I'm just trying to work this out so that I don't goof it up. I'm just going to cut it down a little bit. Just a little, not very much. Okay. I have a horrible feeling that I'm not videoing right now. I'll get up and check in a second. Because if I'm not, it's not like I can do much about it. It's not like I can recapture the things that I missed. Okay. Well, it doesn't seem like it fits totally, but it's all going to be covered with lace. Okay, let's see what it's like. Okay. There's a little gapping of the paper, but like I say, it's going to be covered, so that's okay. So either one can be the front. So it would be like this with a pocket and then a journal in here, and then you flip it, and this would be another section with a pocket with a journal in here. And then I have this. Okay, yeah, it's making a video. I don't know why though, but it's like upside down. I'll have to play with that. Okay, so I have a sheet of paper to glue onto this. So let's go ahead and glue this down. This isn't going to be glued onto the journal yet. I was thinking that I would go ahead and add the lace today, but I'm thinking that I might actually have to do that in a third video because I just don't want them to be too long and overwhelming, especially since I don't alter them in any way. You just get them as is. Okay, so that is the front side, and then on the back side, I made a fold, right? And so I'm making it so that it's covering this part, but not this part that will be glued to something and covering, you know, it's not going to show. So I want my fold to not be so thick with paper. And I'm using up a scrap and it didn't fit all the way. So I also cut off a little strip just to line the edge with where it doesn't cover all the way. All right, and then we'll just glue this little strip down. All right, so this would be, say for instance, I would end up putting it here and it would end up being some sort of a flip, but all covered. Okay, let me see what time it is or how long it's been. 33. Okay, maybe it's fine. So my plan is to cover the entire thing with lace. So I have this curtain. And maybe we'll just do one side for right now. See if there's an actual top or bottom that I can. Okay. So I think I'll do it so that it kind of hangs off up at the top like that. So it just really like tones it all down. I think it looks really pretty. I might put a little bit of stuff here where the fold of this thing is. This thing. Spine. Darcy says words are hard. It's so true. Oh my goodness. So true, Darcy. And I think so what I'm going to do is I probably just got my camera again. Sorry about that. So I'm going to just cover one side for right now because it's going to end up being, you know, real sticky. And I won't be able to flip it over and do the other side until it dries a little bit. So let's just go for it. We're just going to do it. Let's see how much is showing. That's good enough. Okay, so luckily Fabri-Tac takes a little while to dry. So it should be fine to do the whole thing. And I am going to stitch over it as well. So we're just gonna put Fabri-Tac everywhere. Okay. So I have a fairly decent edge, so I'm just gonna lay it on. And I can play with it for a second to get it where I want it to be, I think. I think I'll be able to play with it. It does actually stick pretty quickly. Okay, that is really pretty much all I can do right now. I mean, I could cut around it. I'm sure it'll stick if I wanted to. Just kind of wipe all that off. These aren't the best scissors in the world, but maybe if I just start right here. That way you guys can at least see it maybe cut out. After I'm done here and I let it dry, I will go ahead and do the other side as well. And then I will probably do the sewing on my own and tell you how it goes. I'm going to be adding lots of, laces and all that kind of stuff. So the cuts that I'm doing right now really aren't going to show. And I'm probably cutting off camera. This is a long thing. It's hard to get it right. Okay, we'll go ahead and trim this. Well, that's something my mom would say. Well, when she's trying to do something and it's not working out. That's what she says. Okay. There. So that will be like that, and like that, and like that. So then I still have to do, all of this side. But that would be on the front. And I would do the same thing with this and cover it in fabric as well, in the lace. But I'm gonna let that sit and dry before I do anything else. And go clean my hands up. Okay, you guys, that's all I have for now. Thanks for watching. Bye.